gland, and on your sheets, what does this secrete? What enzyme? On your sheets, this is an interactive exercise. Look at the sheet I gave you. Parotid gland. Look at the sheet I gave you and tell me what enzyme is released from here. Somebody. Thank you. So you need to know the name of the gland and the enzyme. Now, here we have a cutaway of the mandible. This is the mandible. It's been cut away, exposing the submandibular gland. Again, what is released from the submandibular gland? Up top.
Amylase and mucus? No. Salivary amylase.
Salivary amylase and mucus. Amylase is a protein, a carbohydrate digesting enzyme. Then we have the sublingual gland. Come on, give it to me. What does it secrete? Mucus secretions. And we have the tongue producing lipase. Lipase is a fat digesting enzyme. Again, parotid gland, tongue, sublingual, beneath the tongue, submandibular, beneath the mandible. Okay? Then food comes down the esophagus. This is the lower portion of the esophagus. This is the stomach, which has a greater curvature and a lesser curvature. The outer layer is called the serosa, and deep to the serosa are 3 layers of muscle on the stomach. And so where's the other part to this model? Inside there, take the other half of the stomach out. Here you can see the longitudinal muscle. When you look close at this, look at the direction of the muscle fiber. This is longitudinal. This is circular. Look at the muscle fiber closely when you get this. And this is the oblique. The stomach has 3 layers of muscle called the muscularis, and it includes longitudinal, circular, and oblique. Okay, sitting under the serosa. You have your lesser curvature and your greater curvature. Now, as food comes down the esophagus, it passes through a sphincter muscle. It's called the lower esophageal sphincter, and then food enters into a region called the cardia. This region is called the cardia. Above the cardia is the fundus, which rises above the valve. This is the fundus, and the large section here is called the body. Now, from this point back is called the pylorus, and it includes the pyloric antrum, the pyloric canal, and the pyloric sphincter. This sphincter gives access to stomach content into the duodenum, which is the first portion of the small intestine. Now, the small intestine is framed by the large bowel. These are the large intestines. These are the small intestines. The first portion of the small intestine, refer to your sheet now. How long is the first portion, which is the duodenum, in the small intestine? 10 inches. So if I ask you to name this region of the small intestine, you would tell me duodenum. If I ask you to tell me how long it is, you would tell me 10 inches. Then in the middle, we have the jejunum. How long is the jejunum? 8 feet. And then the ileum in blue here. How long is the ileum?
6 feet.
Okay. Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. And the ileum is connected to the large bowel. This is the end of the ileum here. It continues on over here to connect to the cecum, which is the first portion of the large bowel. This is the ileocecal valve. This opening. This whole area is called the cecum. And underneath here, painted on, is the appendix. Go ahead, get ready to go again.
My memory.
You ready, memory? Okay. All right, so now we have the ascending colon, which bends or flexes. The liver's here. This is the hepatic flexure, this bend. Transverse colon comes across from the right to left and bends again where the spleen would be. This is the splenic flexure, to become the descending colon, the S-shaped sigmoid colon, and then not shown the rectum and the anus. These little pockets, pouches, are called haustra, and this muscle, smooth muscle on the anterior and posterior, are tinea coli. Ascending, hepatic flexure, transverse colon, splenic flexure, descending colon, sigmoid. Large and small bowel.